Bone, joint, and muscle injuries, they can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injuryclinic.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Pennsylvania High School Football Report podcast. I'm Brian Linder. I'm here with Eric Epler, returning from somewhere out there. Yep.
What's up, Midwest Swing? I'm back, ready to talk some football.
So now you know else watch me here. And Dan Sostek's here as well. Dan, how's it going, man?
I'm always here. I know it's a football podcast, but with that being kind of on our baseball, there were some football players on the baseball field, and it happened last Friday. I wanted to get everyone here's quick opinion on how Cedar Cliff State Championship win ended, and I want to know if you're an umpire. That's it. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead of you, but I thought it'd be a fun way to start. For those who didn't see, Cedar Cliff baseball won a state championship in the 13th inning on a walk-off balk, and I want to know, Brian Linder and Eric Epler, if you were an umpire, because it was a clear balk, I think, when you watch the video.
It was a clear balk, yes. It was the legit call. You make that call. I don't care what the people in Philly, all the comments and the stories have said. Yes, it was a balk.
Brian, do you call it?
I happen to have, actually worked as an umpire and behind the plate, and I'm going to defer from you. I'm not a fan of 13th inning balk offs.
No one is.
I'm calling a time. We didn't come that far for it to be decided by a crap technicality. Let's play some ball here. And I love Cedar Cliff.
Listen, this is not the NBA where you change the rules in the final 2 minutes of the game.
There's lots of times where the foul isn't called.
You cannot choose when you are okay, when you
happens all the time.
But you can't do it. You can't do it.
When's a foul a foul? When's a foul a foul?
If it's a balk in the first inning, it's a balk in the 13th inning.
When is a foul a foul? When the referee calls it.
Let's also say this: bases loaded, nobody out. I don't care which high school pitcher you are, no matter where you're going to college, how fast your number one is. Not many pitchers get out of that without giving a run.
This is why I wanted to bring it up. I don't like it because I think it kind of robs a Cedar Cliff kid of having the actual moment to be the walk-off. Like, if I'm a Cedar Cliff kid, I'm happy we won the state title. Don't get me wrong, but I want to get the hit. I want to hit them. Although,
is it worse than how East Pennsboro lost in the semifinals?
No,
a bases loaded walk in the bottom in the 17th to give Indiana 1-0 win in the semifinals to go to states and then eventually win.
I got to tell you, Dan. Now that is where I'll disagree with you. Is having won a couple recreation league championships throughout my coaching career. I don't really care how we win. I mean, we win. We the champions. I'm gonna be rocking my medal if I'm Cedar Cliff, regardless. And
oh no, they should be happy. But the individuals up to plate. If I forget who was up to bat, but if I'm up to bat, I'm a little. I want to hit a walk-off grand slam to win the state championship. Like I got robbed of a chance to, because I was going. If that's me, maybe I'm built. I want to go yard. So. But I mean, that game did not seem like a game where anyone was going yard anytime soon. So
that kid might have, quaking in his boots there. He might be kissing the ground and thinking the good Lord to bulk off. I don't know. I don't know who was at the plate, but time. You call time and you reset. I'm sorry.
But shout out to a couple of those Cedar Cliff kids. They're also football player. Bennett Seacrest, longtime quarterback for Cedar Cliff. I think his brother Blake's on the team too.
Yep. Blake's on the squad as well.
Owen on a state. I might be mispronouncing that.
Anastasi.
Yeah, a couple Cedar Cliff kids. I think that's only the second state title of any sport for Cedar Cliff. Or
yes.
I think the other two were cross country. So
cross country.
Yeah, so that's pretty.
Nobody likes to see how that goes, but if you're an umpire, you got to make that call.
It gets them more publicity than if they had won normally, honestly. No, I'll tell you one thing. You don't have national outlets and like the New York Post posting about it if it's just a if it's just a single.
Anyway, Colts got it done. Let's just leave it at that.
Who covered that game for us?
Evan Wheaton was there, and then the cagey, wily young Cub reporter then did, I believe he did volleyball the next day at Rec Hall.
Maybe lacrosse. Trinity
Lacrosse. Okay, I'm sorry. Ramir did volleyball.
Yeah.
So he was in State College for the better part of, long time, 24 hours.
Well, I'll have you know, you probably didn't listen to last week's podcast, but Dan really threw you under the bus for going on vacation during the state championships, and I went to bat for you. He said you didn't believe in the home team. You didn't have faith.
I'll tell you exactly what my thought process was. Number one is this was the only time I could do it. I did a Midwest swing. I spent 3 days in MLB cities, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and Chicago. It was a 72-hour power hour for my nephews who love baseball. I had it clocked for the 4 months ago. That's number one. Number two is I believed that if one of our teams, being Mid-Penn Conference, would have made it to a state final, it was going to be East Penn in 4A. That was my thought. I thought Cedar Cliff would get to the semifinals, bow out. East Penn would be the team that could potentially make it. Obviously, it was reversed. East Penn with that historic 17-inning, just brutal loss to Indiana. So, yeah. And plus, I knew we had guys in the pen. Listen, our bullpen, our starting pitchers are not very good here at PennLive. It's the bullpen we rely on. And we had plenty of guys in the bullpen that could take care of it.
You also missed last week the start of the mailbag. Ralphus, Munch Corner, South Carolina, sent in a few questions. He was going to send in some more this week, but I told him to, let's try to give some other folks an opportunity. And unfortunately, we didn't get any other questions. But I could have had some more from Ralphus, but we got the mailbag going.
It's ironic that the mailbag started with somebody in South Carolina.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I have fans from up and down the East Coast. We also had Douglas from Biglerville. He's been eating at Cameo down there.
Did we get any questions from Black Swamp Podcast, the only high school football podcast in the country who ranked ahead of us?
No, we didn't.
We got to get those boys from Mississippi in gear and send us some mail.
We should have them on.
Yeah. Have a trivia contest or something.
That's right.
Well, listen, guys, we're recording back-to-back podcasts because, our producer, Megan, I don't know that she's all in. She doesn't want to be here next week. She isn't about doing high school football every week. I think she's going somewhere, doing something different. I don't know. Megan, what are you doing?
The only reason I am taking my PTO next week is because I don't want to take PTO during football season.
That's commitment, Merlin. We appreciate it.
The last time Megan took PTO, somebody put a tracker on her car and followed her around Canada. So
you would think Canada has to be better than that.
She found a tracker and destroyed it.
Of course she did. That's why we call it.
You know what you should have done, Megan? You should have pulled it off and put it on a city bus.
Or a city rat.
I actually told my friend to put it back together and toss it into the garbage truck.
Smart.
That would have been funny. Megan, you're taking next week off on us?
Our PTO is use it or lose it. I'm not losing it.
Good for you.
I lose 4 days every year. So,
are you going anywhere interesting, Megan? I feel like you travel the world.
I am staying home. I need sleep to recover from the excitement of last week's mailbag.
I actually got the sleep during the mailbag. So
smart.
Well, if you want to join in on the mailbag, you can email Linder at PennLive.com or Epler at PennLive.com or Sostek at PennLive.com. Or you can find us on Twitter. Anyway, guys, look, because we're doing 2 episodes in a row, because Megan slacking off, we got a pretty good interview coming up. One of the better, I think, family type stories from around Pennsylvania high school football. We got Trinity defensive tackle Samuel Mulbah. Brother is Fatorma Mulbah, who's now with the New York Jets in the NFL. Played at Susquehanna Township and Penn State and West Virginia. Guys, why don't we jump into this interview with Samuel and kind of let folks know about this kid just committed to UMass and what he's got going.
Bone, joint, and muscle injuries, they can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injuryclinic.
All right, Dan and Ep. So this week we have our special guest, Trinity defensive lineman and new UMass commit, Samuel Mulbah. And I wanted to have Samuel on here because, a couple years ago when I got here, actually it's been probably about 8 years ago I came now, but a couple years after I got here, and Epler knows the story well, kind of ran across this kid from Hannah who we didn't really know a lot about, but started getting all these, Susquehanna Township, we started getting all these big offers for Torma Mulbah. And he actually went on to play at Penn State and West Virginia and just signed with the New York Jets. But Fatorma had a fascinating story. Family come from Liberia, actually won a national lottery to get a chance to come over here. Samuel's the younger brother. Fatorma did not play a lot of football before he started getting offers. And Samuel, wanted to have you on here. I assume your story is probably a little bit different in terms of like your football experience because you watched your older brother kind of blow up with it. But first of all, tell kind of people your family backstory because I always thought it was fascinating. Like, coming from Liberia and stuff like that. And like Fatorma told me that football, he didn't even really know what football was. He wanted to play basketball. What was your experience with football and what's like your background, your family background coming from Liberia, man?
Yeah, like you said, we moved here in 2014 after we won a lottery to come here. Didn't know a lot about football. I actually started playing football freshman year of high school, same as Fatorma. Learned about it when we got to the States. I actually learned about it when Fatorma first started playing football. I was like, I don't even know what this is. And then even though I started playing freshman year, I still didn't understand it a lot. My head coach, Jordan Hill and Justin, there was the people that helped me like grow and all of that. But with my family background, we just came here 11 years ago. May is 11 years this year. Moved in here from settled in Hershey, won a lottery thanks to God, and just went up from there.
It really is, guys. Joe Heaton, who coached Fatorma, said, Fatorma's story is the American dream, and Samuel's, I think, kind of is too. Dad's a truck driver, I know. Fatorma said he wants to own a trucking company now, but Samuel, I mean, that's still kind of amazing. A lot of guys grew up their whole life playing football, and up and down. This guy started playing when he was a freshman, didn't really know what it was, and now to be here and committed to UMass, there's a tie in there. Justin, mentioned Justin Cindy, I think is his last name. Probably pronounced that wrong. And then Jordan Hill. Both of those guys work with Fatorma a lot too, right? So and Jordan Hill obviously is now with Penn State, playing NFL. So if you're a young defensive lineman and you're trying to learn the game of football, you had some pretty good mentors. How much did that help you to get, to come this far in 4 years?
It helped me a lot. There was because Coach Hill was also a coach at Trinity, but he also worked in the school a lot, and so was Justin. Justin's the strength coach there. There were mentors to me, helped me a lot of maturity. If I'm being honest with you, last year was like my first real year of playing. First 2 years I played JV. So they just helped me a lot, just understanding things. Study halls, go to Coach Hill's office and just watch them film, understand it. Just basically started me down as like a baby and just helped me grow. I went to Trinity for a better education, but 3 years ago, I was actually in a boarding school in Ghana. My parents sent me back to Africa to just learn more about my roots, learn more about where I came from. I went to a boarding school there, came back 3 years ago. My brother asked me, he was like, do you want to go play for Jordan at Trinity? I said, I would love to because I saw what he did for you. And then I think it was the best decision I ever made.
Tell us about that real quick. What's it like going to boarding school in Ghana when the family's over here? You guys came from Liberia. And what are the differences in life between there and here?
There was a lot of differences. It really humbled me and just helped me understand like this all really happened because of God, because this could have been me. And obviously in Ghana, it was more of a third world country. Things were a lot different from here and there, and it helped me appreciate what I have right now. a lot more. Just how they lived, how the food was, how everything was. It really just humbled me. But it was great to see. That's where great to see. Well, we're from Liberia, but it was great to see. This is because when we came here, I was like 6 years old. So yeah, I was born there, but I didn't really like understand it a lot. Like Fatuma did, when he was 12 when we moved here, so he understood a lot more and remember a lot more about Africa than I did. But when I went back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it really humbled me a lot, and it was a great experience to see. That's how, like, this is where I came from, like, and et cetera.
Was that why they sent you over there back just to get a feeling of where you came from and appreciation for it?
A lot, yeah, exactly like that. My dad sent me there for went to boarding school there for 8-9 months, just to appreciate it a lot more and just help me get more in tune with my roots.
So Sam, kind of going back a little bit to starting football, just obviously you were new to the sport, but you had a brother who had so much success doing it. I mean, did you, going into when you first started playing, did you expect to kind of be where you are now? Was that the goal, or was that something you're like, hey, maybe if it works out, it works out? Were you expecting to become a Division I football player when you first started playing?
Honestly, nah, not at all. I didn't know anything about football at all. Well, I knew football, but I didn't know how to play football. I didn't even know how to get in the stands. I didn't know barely how to run, to be honest with you. I didn't expect any of this to happen, but it was hard work and just constant hours and just dedication. I saw what football did for Fatuma. I saw the positions that football put him in, and I wanted it just like he did, and it just kept me going.
Yeah, how much of a help was he during your career? Obviously, a lot of it, he's away doing his own thing, right? You don't have a ton of time to help when you're playing at Penn State in West Virginia, but how much of a help was he? And just even having that figure, because not everyone has that person in their family they can look to and be like, hey, they got to this point, I maybe can do that too.
It was a great help, like a phenomenal help. He was more of a leader. He was more of a role model by example. Like, he's not the type of person to call me and just tell me, do this, do this, do that. I saw what he was doing. I saw how he carried himself everywhere he got. I saw how much people respected him. And just like, I'm like, yeah, this is my brother. Like, he was somebody I can probably say, this is my older brother. And that, because Fatuma's really quiet. We're opposites. I tend to talk a lot, but he's really quiet and stays to himself. And just the way he carried himself, it helped me a lot. And whenever I asked anything about football, yo, what is this? What is this? He'll always answer the phone, always call me, take me out to the field, whatever I needed. He's my role model.
When do you sort of start figuring out, hey, colleges might be kind of interested in me? Because like you said, you were playing JV for a while, but I'm sure you started going to camps. Probably, I imagine, from there, they started saying, hey, we kind of like this athletic profile. But when did you start feeling like, hey, I might end up going D1, which obviously culminated this week?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, it was sophomore year. Really, I still played JV sophomore year, but we kind of had like formations where they'll put me into block kicks. Like, honestly, like third down, fourth down, to put me into block kicks, and I ended up having like five to six block kicks my sophomore year. Went up to I had pretty good frame. Coach Hill put me in to talk to coaches. They say they love my frame, they love my background. Went up to camps, did pretty good. They all just told me they just need to see me on film. Then that's when I realized, like, yo, I really got a shot. So I did what I did, put things on film this year, and coaches started calling, and ended up where I am right now.
Sam, this is just sort of an oddball question, but obviously, being new to the sport, just your third year, really, 3 years, and you mentioned playing JV mostly the first 2 years. What was your introduction to, so much about your position too is getting stronger and being in the weight room. What was your introduction to weights? Did you have that before, or kind of getting into a sort of a regiment where this is what my plan is, or coaches give to you? What was your introduction to that sort of part of being a football player?
Well, at Trinity, our strength program is run by Justin Asadino, and he was also the strength coach at Susquehanna when my brother was playing. So I started out, I'm right now, I'm 265, but freshman year I was 175, 180, and I was probably the weakest kid in the weight room. I'm not going to lie to you. And I was always like, yo, like, come on, how can I get stronger? He said, just be patient. Your brother's the strongest person I've ever coached. Just be patient. Let your body grow. I didn't rush his process. I just stayed true to the process. Everybody else is squatting. I'm over there doing goblet squats with 20-pound dumbbell. just stay true to his process and trust what Justin said. And then ultimately he put me on creatine, he put me on supplements, he put me on fish oil, he put me on all of that. And I just listened to whatever he said. And honestly, if I'm being honest with you, African food. I ate a lot of African food, and that helped.
A lot of protein in African
A
food.
lot of protein in it. And just grew up in it.
This might surprise you guys, but our guy Nebi Asias brought me over like a whole giant meal of like West African food. Nebi's from like West Africa. It was a lot of protein. It was very spicy. I would almost compare it to like Southwestern type flavorings and stuff. I don't know if it's the same for like your region and stuff where you're eating African food from, Sam, but it was kind of spicy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What's your favorite African dish?
Jollof rice.
What's in there?
It's like rice with every type of like meat, fish. I'll have my mom make you some. Like, it's amazing.
Bring some to media day. On your,
Gotcha, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you talk about the weight room out, and you know this pretty well, but when I did that story about Fatorma, the first one we did where it was like, where did this kid come from? Sam, they said in Susquehanna Township, when they're in the weight room and Fatorma's reps would come up, the whole weight room would stop and they would watch this kid lift up. And the thing about, Dan, you'll laugh about this, and I don't know if you know the guy, Sam, but he's built a little differently, but Fatorma's like the sweetest, nicest, quietest kid, like he said, that you'll ever meet. Super smart. Credit to the family. All you can tell Sam's really smart too. Very focused on education. But he always kind of reminded me of like Francis Ngannou, Dan. He was not built like a typical defensive tackle in high school. He was kind of jacked. And you could tell like Fatorma could mess you up if you wanted to. But he put on some shows. Have you ever watched that? Have you ever lifted with that guy? And is what kind of weights is Fatorma putting up?
Yeah, he came back. I think it was earlier this year. It was me and him in the weight room with Coach Justin. I'm like thinking, I can finally hang with him now. I can hang with him. I couldn't hang with him at all. I'm over there squatting. I think it was 365, 370. Fatorma puts like 2 more plates on and he starts repping it for 15, 20 reps. I'm like, yo. I'm like, he's a grown man, but like, yeah.
That's really why people have always been fascinated with Fatorma. Ep, you know this too. I keep saying this because Ep knows the story pretty well too. He's super smart. He's still really, in the grand scheme of things for football, raw. I mean, right? He only played like 2 years of high school ball. Then he got to Penn State, and they tell you just like how strong and powerful he was. Like 2 years of high school ball, he didn't play a ton at Penn State, but he played. He got on the field in a loaded defensive line room, basically off of raw ability. He told me he really didn't start. He learned things at Penn State, but he didn't really start employing them well until he got to West Virginia. So that's what's so fascinating still about Fatorma, and why teams are still looking at him. He's still like has incredible upside, and I know Samuel does too. Samuel, you're built a little bit different than your brother, though. You seem to be more lean 265. What are they telling you about your college outlook? What do they like about you, and where do they see you?
Well, obviously, these people told me you can just tell he's really strong, but like I would say more athletic than him. I can move a little bit faster, and that's more of my game. So at college, they really want to see me at Fatorma's like 315 right now. They want to see me at 280, get to 280, but more of like the 3 tech. Fatorma plays 1 tech like over the center, more of the 3 tech where they can move me around that end, play over the guard and all that.
You're gonna be a monster when they get you in that college weight room, Cliff.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think it's interesting, too, because you committed a day before, I think, another Mid-Penn player also committed to UMass. I caught up with Yendor Mack from Susquehanna Township, and he said, that you guys have been close for a while. How cool is that to have someone that going with you up to Massachusetts to both play at the same program?
It's awesome, man. Like, Max, like a brother to me. I met him in 4th grade. He helped me a lot because it's like we're both kind of like just really, I wouldn't say awkward, but like we could just connect on a lot of things. Like, and ever since then, I moved over to Trinity, moved to Mechanicsburg. Me and him have been kept in contact a lot, went on a lot of visits together. Went to UMass together. We was like, yo, let's just do it, yo. Like, this could be home for us. Like, you play 1, we play 3, I play 3. Like, and he's like one of my closest friends ever since ever since I moved and stuff, he's one of the only people that really has kept in contact from over there in Harrisburg. So it was really cool. It's really cool.
Dude, the UMass coach, you're probably going to watch that Trinity the Hannah game at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Sam, I wanted to ask you about UMass as well. Obviously, congratulations. What made the difference for you? Choosing UMass. So I know you had some other opportunities, but what sort of turned the tables for you there?
Well, just the new culture they're building. When people used to think about UMass, it used to be like they weren't that good. They weren't like, but Coach H, he was over at Rutgers. He got the new job at UMass. He wiped the whole staff out. It's a completely new team. The new culture they're building. And overall, that was the first school to believe in me. I still remember the day. I think it was January 22nd. They pulled me and Marcus out of class. I thought it was about to be just another regular conversation. Let's go to camp. Just keep in contact. But he ended up offering me, and then we just been building a relationship ever since then. Then he wanted to do an home visit, made it important to meet me and my family, and relationships are really important to me. Went up on an official visit. I had an idea that it was going to be home for me, but just how they made my family feel, and just like I knew I was going to be with a great group of men that cares more about football, but cares more about me being better as a person, a young man, someone that's going to be a great husband, a great brother, and all that. And that's the pitch that really sold to me, that a lot of coaches that didn't sell that part of me. It was just strictly football. But they talked to me more about me growing outside of football. That really just like, that took it for me. And I knew that's what I wanted to be.
When I did Fortoma's commitment, when he made a commitment to Penn State, and we spoke for about 15 minutes, after he announced, and about 2 of that was football. The rest was about how Penn State he thought could grow him as a man, for down the future, and he was looking at those things even then, not just being a football player, in college. So it's interesting how, those 2 things compare. When you made your decision, it's not surprising, knowing Fortoma a little bit, and obviously getting to know you as well. So yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
100%. Now, I want to circle back to that at the end of the interview, because Fortoma, like when we say Fortoma's an impressive young man, we're not saying football player, we're saying young man. Like, really, you could tell. Look, you mentioned Marcus. That's Marcus Yeager, a little hot off the press news. Your defensive end there, he committed to Richmond right before we came on. You guys are, in 2A football, to have a UMass commit and a Richmond commit on a defensive line, it's pretty impressive. Trinity, I think, surprised a lot of people last year. Obviously, you guys had some really talented players transfer away, like Messiah Mickens, the Penn State commit. But you guys had a really good year last year. How are you looking this year, and how excited are you and Marcus Yeager, the Richmond commit, excited about playing down on that defensive front this year together?
We had a really good team last year. Boog, Jacob, Emil, they did a lot of great things for us last year and carried our offense. A lot of people are saying that we might not be the same because we don't have that offense. We don't have Boog, Emil, and Jacob back, but I think we're going to keep surprising people this year. We got a great receiver in number 1, Maddox. I just got an offer from Norfolk State. Me and Marcus, we have our whole D-line back. We have our whole O-line back. We got the same quarterback back. All of us just keep being humble and trusting our coach's process. And just like the culture we're building over here at Trinity, it feels amazing. Like, I think we're in a great shape this year.
Yeah, that's pretty tough up in Nan, right? And you talk about the trenches. The 2A football, if you got the defensive line and offensive line worked out, and you mentioned a couple skill guys, I don't know, man. I'm thinking Trinity might be pretty good, guys.
Trinity and Hannah this year, I mentioned it, but that's going to be such a good, because I've been saying, like, that Hannah team looks really good, even with their losses too. And like you said, you don't get, especially, schools your Trinity size, you don't always see that much kind of talent in kind of specific position groups. We're going to talk about our potential breakout players, but I actually had Maddox listed as one of them because I saw him a little play. I know him and Marcus are on the basketball team, so I have to watch them a lot. But yeah, they're probably going to be the class of the club. Although you can never count out teams like Shippensburg and them. So, or no, Shippensburg's in the Keystone. I can't even keep track of the divisions.
bring this thing full circle, I wanted to come back to this. Dad's name's Steven, mom's named Kona. They've done a spectacular job raising you young men. And I say young men, I mean it. Fatorma, I think, has the type of ability and raw strength that he could end up sticking in an NFL lineup or an NFL team for a while and having a nice career. But even if he doesn't, I think he's going to have success. And I think I get the same vibe from you, Samuel. Tell me about mom and dad real quick. I want to give them a quick shout out and just the values they instilled in you guys. And then what's your plan outside of football too? Because Fatorma seemed to be very planned out there. I don't know if you're the same way, but tell us about them, how they raised you guys, the emphasis I know that they put on schoolwork. Like Fatorma was telling me, guys, that I think your grandparents came down and went to Penn State one time and just were amazed that they were going to let them have a free education to play football. And that was a big thing. And so tell me about them and the value you get there from them. And then also the bigger picture, just you guys didn't really know what football was not too long ago, and it's really changed your lives, right?
My mom and dad, they're amazing. Like, I love them more than anything else in the world. Like, they do everything they can to keep me humble, to keep me and my brother, remind us, like, you guys have great opportunities. God bless you guys, but remember this where you guys came from, and always keep us down to earth. Education is big with them because at the end of the day, I'm going to school for education. Like, that's what I'm getting out of college. Football is just a side piece to my parents. Like, that's the most important thing. With the planning part, I want to go to school to major in exercise science and ultimately be a physician assistant. I love the medical field. I love studying how the human body works and all of that. That's what I'm interested in doing, and that's what I think I'm gonna get out of it. But back to my parents, I love them more than anything, and they always keep me humble. Like, and they're big on discipline. They're big on me doing the right thing. They're big on me making sure I represent the family name the best way, because when I'm out there, this is Fatorma's brother, this is Steven's son, this is Kona's son. What is he doing? And how can I be the best role model for my little brother, just like how Fatorma's the big role model for me? And just with the education piece, that's the most important thing that comes with it. Because the NFL is not guaranteed, none of that's guaranteed, but a 4-year degree is the most important thing to them and most important thing to me too. Just getting a good job and just ultimately all of that. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, again, I just wanted to give them a shout out because, in my opinion, they're 2 for 2 with you and Fatorma. And for anybody that's listening out there in the state, we see a bunch of good players miss out on great opportunities because they didn't have necessarily those same values preached to them and instilled in them. You guys have that.
And we've heard you have another younger brother too that's supposed to be coming up the ranks as well. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Fatorma said younger brother might be the one.
Yeah, I don't like saying this to his face, but he's gonna be better than me and Fatorma.
What's his name again? He's an 8th grader, right? At Cumberland Valley.
He's a 7th grader. He's like 6 foot right now. He's huge. His name's Steven Mulbah, and he goes to CV. He's gonna be good.
Well, good deal. Like I said, big shout out to your parents, Sam. Keep doing things the right way. Super impressed with your family. And look, guys, a big part of why Samuel and Fatorma got the opportunities they did was because, Samuel's a great football player. I watched his film, but he's still a little bit raw. He's not as polished as some of these guys. He's not where he's going to be in 3 or 4 years, but he had all the other pieces too. He had that too. And then you can look at that and put it all together. And now he gets this big opportunity. And Fatorma the same way. It really is kind of an American dream type story. So one of the better stories in PA high school football. Sam, keep it up. We look forward to watching Trinity this year. Guys, we got anything else for Sam before we let him go?
Nope, just again, and we'll see you here in about a month or 2.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Yep. Good to talk to you, Sam.
Yes, sir. You guys too.
All right, guys, that was Samuel Mulbah. What did we learn? What did we take from that interview?
I mean, I didn't know Fatorma well, but it seems like, everything you guys have said about Fatorma seems like it got pretty passed down to Sam. He seems like he's got a great head on his shoulders, and would not be shocked to see him either have a terrific 4-year career at UMass or heck, even outplay that and transfer up because we all know how college football works, and we know that he's working on limited experience. So it seems like he's got a real good outlook on how to deal with things.
Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I had a good relationship with Fatorma, obviously, when he played with the Indians, and you're just very impressed with how he conducted himself. I think Samuel, said, about how he's sort of the outgoing one, the extrovert in the family, and Fatorma was the introvert, and that's exactly right. I mean, Fatorma was so soft spoken, so respectful, and just these are guys you root for, because they understand that there's life after football, and that's what they're using their chances or opportunities here at the next level to get a great education. Yes, play football for Toma now, obviously with the Jets. Is that correct? Jets, right?
Yep.
Just signed with the Jets, so he's going to get a chance to hang around in the NFL. But yeah, again, they're guys you root for. It's a family. It's an unbelievable story. I didn't know that Samuel, was sent back to Ghana for 9 months. That's something that you don't read about very often, to get a better perspective on, the situation here and there. And so, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that things are progressing well for Samuel. Obviously, with the UMass, he's joining the MAC, so that makes him instantly likable. Since I'm a MAC guy, I don't like that he's going to be playing against Eastern Michigan, but
I think UMass is FBS independent. They're not a MAC team at all.
They're moving to the MAC though, correct? Are they not? I thought they were. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think they're FBS independent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
you're right. They are joining the MAC.
Yeah, they're joining the MAC.
Just happened in January.
Yeah, there you go. I do read, Dan.
You got to keep up on the Eastern Michigan.
You do have to keep up. I got to know who's coming through Ypsilanti.
Yeah, Nazir Jones Davis.
So they're joining the MAC. So that means we'll be able to watch them like on ESPN on like Wednesday night
Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll actually get to watch them, unlike most of the other kids who will be at. We miss most of other college football being at Severance Field.
Exactly. Yeah, those dreaded 1 p.m. Saturday games.
Yeah.
Recovering from the heat stroke that you get from being at that stadium.
And it's always 30 degrees hotter on the field.
Yeah,
at Severance, always.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again, I've always been impressed with the Mulbah family. Again, just an incredible set of values. I think they've instilled in those kids. Really, really stress education. Like, it's not just like lip service to say that. The family didn't really know football, and they were just could not believe that football would pay for a college education when Fatorma got there, and just tremendous story. So, look, I think we got a podcast. I think that was a good story to tell. Dan, tell them how to find you on social media.
Dan_Sostek.
Yep, tell them how to find you.
I'm at 3Jacker on X.
Our producer Megan is at Savvy Literate. She's got all kinds of stuff going on always, except for next week when she's having a staycation. I'm at Sports by B Linder on X, and be sure to check us out at PennLive.com. It is June, folks. We're getting ready to hop into really some hardcore football stuff. Our media day for the Mid-Penn is like a month away, right? And then in the end of July,
about 5.5 weeks.
I guess at the end of July, right?
Yeah. It's only June.
Just about, it was June 18th. It's about a month away now, a little over a month away. So we are really starting to get into it. So stay tuned to PennLive.com. Till next week, we'll see you then.
Bone, joint, and muscle injuries, they can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injury clinic.